Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Monday, July 3rd of 2017 City Council meeting. At this time, we will call the meeting to order, and we will be led in prayer by Pastor Mike Wensing from Holy Name Catholic Church.
Our prayers and sympathy with you, Beth, in your time of grief. The Psalm 106 proclaims, "Give thanks to the Lord, for the Lord is good, for his kindness endures forever. Who can tell the mighty deeds of the Lord, or proclaim all his praises?" Well, we can, for starts. We tell of your mighty deeds, Lord, our God, who gave us seasonable rain to make our city green, and yet pray for more needed rain, who favored our city with many visitors this holiday weekend, and who is watching over a transition of city government. We ask you to bless our new mayor, our outgoing mayor, and city council members in transition. Give us peace, grant us peace in our nation and in our city, honesty in our trading, hospitality and warmth in our welcoming, integrity in our planning and civic life, that the common good may prevail and your kingdom of righteousness and justice be affirmed. We ask this in your name, Lord God, who are the way, the truth, and the life. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. So, Shelley, you want to do roll call for us?
I can. Albertson?
Here.
Bueller?
Here.
Danforth?
Here.
Manti? Here. Riefenberger?
Here.
Roby?
Here.
Solem?
Here.
Thorson?
Here.
Tupper?
Here.
Vilhauer?
Here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shell. This time I'll look for a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion by Randy, second by Bruce. Any questions, concerns, changes? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 2, approve the agenda. I'll look for a motion and a second for that. Motion by Glenn, second by Bill. Any questions, concerns, changes? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, ordinance number 1726, amending zoning district boundaries by zoning Valley View addition to R1 single-family residential district, R2 single-family attached residential district, and R3 multifamily residential district. This is a second reading, and at this time I will look for a motion and a second for discussion. Motion by Beth, second by Bruce. And Shane, I'll let you take that on.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. On the screen, you'll see Exhibit A of the project. The shaded areas are the planned zoning that we're asking for action on tonight. We do have 2 small R2 lots on the westerly portion of the project, and this Block 5 was the change from the R3 zoning, which was originally proposed, and the council asked for that to be revised to R2, so that change has been made. The R3 lots remain along 2nd Street West. And with that, this being the final reading, those were the adjustments in the discussion previous to this point.
Any questions for Shane on this? Okay, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 4, ordinance number 1730, amending portions of Chapter 11.07 to declare tall grass a public nuisance and allow for a remedy, which is revised at this time. This is a second reading, and I will look for a motion and a second for discussion. Motion by Randy, second by Brad. Justin, you want to take that on?
Certainly, Mayor. Thank you
All right.
very much. You will recall that this ordinance has come back before this council multiple times. Obviously, a great deal of attention has been paid to it, wanting to make it right. This ordinance, in short, would establish as a public nuisance grass that grows to be over 8 inches, or that has reached 8 inches in height or greater. What was changed here most recently is what's provided in yellow highlight. That is an exception for properties of 1 acre or more, in that the full property doesn't have to be cut to that height or lower, but that a 25-foot swath around the exterior of that property needs to be cut if those exterior lines face an improved developed property next door or face public grounds, including rights-of-way. Also, down below, in 110716, we talk about the notice provisions associated with this remedy, and that only one of each type of notice is required each growing season for a property, and that publication notice is just one notice provided each growing season for all properties. And again, just a reminder that this does implicate our assessment protocols, and so ultimately the city can obtain payment through the assessment roll process for services rendered under this ordinance.
Any questions for Justin? Wow, Justin, no questions on grass tonight. All right, I'm going to look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, plat for new venture 3rd edition, resolution number 1719. Shane, if you want to handle that for us.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. My screen's up on the big screen,
Yes.
showing you the plat of new venture 3rd edition. It does include 7 different lots, 3 of which are or 4 of which are undeveloped. The 3 across the top, and this square here, lot 6. Lot 4 is a future storm pond. Lot 7 is a future storm pond. And this preliminary plan was approved by the Planning Commission on their February 9th meeting. And then subsequently, we've been working out the stormwater design and issues, which includes those 2 ponds in the Lot 4 and Lot 7. So we're now ready to bring this plat to the council and have it approved for development.
Any questions for Shane at this time? Are you looking for any action tonight? Okay, so what I'll do now at this time, look for a motion and a second on this. So I have a motion by Bruce and a second by Glenn. Any questions now? All right, hearing none.
I do have a question. Shane, was this the one there were some issues brought up on drainage, that some people were concerned about that?
This one had no outside input. This was all internal. We had, the design team was proposing a unique style of storm pond infiltration basins, and so we took a little extra time to make sure that we reviewed that and vetted how that would function, and we've got a conclusive point and are now ready to bring this plat forward. So,
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, authorization for the mayor to sign a development agreement with New Venture Incorporated and Lake City Hospitality Incorporated for New Venture 3rd edition. At this time, I'll look for a motion and a second before we turn it over for discussion. Motion by Beth, second by Randy. Shane, if you want to handle this.
okay, thank you, Mayor. I did hand out a revised version to each of the council members at the beginning of the meeting, and really very, very minor language changes. If you look at Article B1A, on your version, it refers to a sidewalk/trail, and we cleaned that up to just say sidewalk. And then on Section 2A, number 3, it talked about curb and gutter on each side of the private drive. Well, one side of the private drive is already developed with pavement, so we didn't feel that it was appropriate to add curb and gutter to the piece that was already developed. So we struck that little verbiage as well. Otherwise, this development agreement has been reviewed and agreed to by the developer as well, so we recommend approval.
Any questions for Shane?
Has this gone through the planning commission?
Development agreements do not go
Do not.
through the Planning Commission currently.
Another question, does the sewer or water lawsuit have any kind of impact on this development?
Yes, potentially. They are in the process of getting that determined. We've kind of left the language a little bit vague in here, saying the developer will install water main. What we don't know yet is if it's going to be the municipal utilities or the rural water company that actually supplies the water. So once that gets ironed out, the developer can move forward with the water.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, consideration request for additional funding for Cooking on Compesca event. Well, Megan, welcome.
I'm going to step in for 1 second while she's coming up here and just kind of give a little accounting lesson background. I know it's your favorite, so can't wait, right? Just to kind of to give the background to how this all came about, and just to be clear, in at the end of the day, nothing is changing as to the chamber using camp pads at City Park on the Thursday through Sunday of Cooking on Compesca. It's just basically how we're going to account for it and how I guess basically I'm requesting that we account for it, and we just thought it would be good to start now because according to Megan, this is only getting to be a bigger event, and as we continue budgeting, I think we need to know where our expenditures and our revenues are coming from on both sides so that we can kind of work together and make sure that we can continue growing this event. So basically, GASB rules, which is the Government Accounting Standard Boards, they are not big supporters of netting expenditures and revenues. So basically, in the past, we have allowed camp pads to be used for this event, and we noted it as an in-kind donation, which basically we didn't charge for it. So they didn't pay for it. We didn't realize the revenue from it, or we didn't give them an additional supplement to it. A couple years ago, the council, as you know, made a decision to add a contribution to this event of $10,000 in cash. And so basically we're kind of doing two things. We're doing an in-kind and we're doing a cash donation. So in talking, I'd kind of made the request if we could charge them for the camp pads, because the campground is responsible for collecting user fees, so it would help them in their budgeting process. And in turn, then the city would increase their contribution to equal what that is, to offset the costs of that. And it would also allow everybody to know this is what the city is contributing, and then the chamber going forward can know what it actually costs them to run the event as well. And so that's kind of what we're asking for, and I'm not 100% sure how many camp pads got worked out, what that total amount is going to be. So I guess I would, and I guess Megan, you can change the number, but I guess I would request to add up to an additional $5,000 to the already $10,000 approved contribution, based on what the actual total cost of those camp pads are, and have that come from our contingency fund for 2017, and then we can go through the budgeting project process in 2018 and beyond to come up with this. So if Megan wants to say anything or give any more details.
Could I jump in just to add
Sure.
one thing in support of what Shelley's saying? I was in some of the meetings on this. The other thing that's in play is if we do an in-kind on the extra camping pads, then the Park and Recs loses that revenue. So it negatively affects their budget. this way it keeps them whole. And again, I think it's just a more transparent accounting transaction that way.
No, I don't have anything else to add unless folks have specific questions.
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. I sat on the Chamber Board of Directors when the Kansas City barbecue thing got going a few years ago, and I remember how much the city, going back to Mayor Williams, was promoting this, and let's really make this work. Well, we're seeing the effects of it now, but I would definitely support your suggestion, this Shelley, because it really has taken off, and it bodes well for the city going forward.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, so what I'll do is look for a motion in a second.
So moved. Motion are we making?
Well, we're making a motion to
Add the
however you
five.
want to word it, Shelley. You go ahead and light it up.
Is the 5,000, what you guys talked about, it's
Right.
not going to exceed that, is it?
It shouldn't. Terry Kelly was going to work on pinning down a closer number, but that should be definitely covering it.
Okay. So I guess the request would be up to an additional $5,000 to the already approved $10,000 contribution to come from contingency funds based on the cost charged for the camp pads.
Second.
So I have that motion by Beth and second by Dan. Any questions, any concerns? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Shell.
Thanks, Megan.
Megan, thank you. And maybe at some point in time, Sarah will ask you to do a prayer. We're just saying, okay? I'm just saying. All right. Number 8, authorization for the mayor to sign a grant agreement from the Department of Transportation, Federal Aviation Administration for Airport AIP, project number 31. At this time, I'll look for a motion as second for discussion. Motion by Beth, second by Bruce. Todd, you're up.
All right, this is a
Welcome.
thank you. This is a compliance document for the first 3 quarters of it, and then the second portion of this is the ADA doors at the terminal. Excuse me. Compliance document is for all the platting at the airport. I think we had over 100 different sections of land out there, just pieces of land that were all platted separately. So we're going to square that all up into just a few portions, clear up some right-of-way issues, and then the ADA doors will be installed in the terminal.
Any questions for Todd? That was pretty easy for you there, buddy.
Thank you.
Todd, I've got a question, or Shelley, whomever. Okay, the grants for $99,000. What will be our portion? I mean, when this project comes about, how much will the city end up paying?
5%.
It's still the 5%.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Number 9, consideration of bids received for the street department street sweeper. This time I'll look for a motion and a second for discussions. Motion by Bill, second by Mike. Welcome, Rob. I thought you were on vacation today. All right.
I was, but I
Oh.
came back.
Okay. Fill us in.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. On June 27th, we went out for bids for a street sweeper, which we're badly in need of. We had 4 bidders. The first 2 bidders did not meet the specifications. So the third bidder, which was Sanitation Products, met the specifications with a bid of $267,986.40, which is well within our budget of $284,000. And I recommend that the council approve the third lowest bidder.
Rob, the last sweeper we bought just seemed to be a real kind of a lemon. You struggle with that all the time. This isn't the same machine, is it?
No, actually, the second lowest bidder was a Schwartz. That's what we've had some trouble with, but they didn't meet the specifications.
Okay. Any questions for Rob? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks,
Thank you.
Rob.
Yeah.
Number 10, consideration of change order number 2 for the sanitary sewer rehab project. I'll look for a motion and a second for discussion. Motion by Bruce, second by Glenn. Shane, you're up.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. This is part of the sewer rehabilitation project number 1708. While doing some work in an area where we actually took out a manhole and replaced it, there was a service line that was not well marked in our videos and subsequently missed, so they had to go back and redig in the sewer service and reconnect it to the main, and that's not a normal portion of this type of work, so this change order compensates the contractor for the change of that type of work and to reconnect that sewer service. So staff has reviewed it and approved, or recommends approval of $862.50 to increase the contract to take care of that item.
Any questions?
We're still good with the budget on that project?
Oh yeah, we're
This
way,
was one that was way low, right?
usually this project can be as large as $325 on our budget, and we're down just hovering below 200,000, so we got plenty of budget.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Hearing none, I'll look for council action. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Number 11, old business. Shane, you said you had something that you wanted to bring up.
I do. I have an update, and Pete, you want to put my screen on? So what's on the screen is the proposed First Avenue rail closure. Again, all of the shaded areas are pieces of pavement that are planned to be removed from the system. Be a turnaround here on First Avenue. First Avenue will also be connected to Kemp via this old railroad bed area. This project was let through the DOT, and they the letting was June 21st. They had 3 bidders. The engineer's estimate was basically $100,000. 3 bids. The bids ranged from $884,464 to $1.147 million. So their estimate was really good, and our low bid was excellent. So, and the best news of the whole thing is not only did we get a low bid, but we have a local contractor that was awarded, or will be awarded for that bid. So that's J&J Earthworks Incorporated submitted that $884,000 bid. The city's portion of that project will be 10%. So it costs the city just under $100,000 to redo all this work.
Good deal. Well, thanks, Shane. I also wanted to mention the passing of Craig Atkins here last week. Very, very sad for the city of Watertown. Craig suffered a long time on that, and just want to pass our condolences to his family and friends. So I did want to mention that. Any other old business? Any new business that you want to mention?
I do have something, Mayor. I'd like Bill, if you could step out front, and Mr. Mayor, if you would, I'd appreciate it for a moment. No, Mike said you're going to sing, aren't you? No, I'm not going to sing tonight. Anyway, I've got a little something here for Steve and for Bill, and I'd like to start out with Bill just a little bit tonight. Bill has been a kind of a mentor to me in my years on the council, and partly because he's old. He's a lot older than I am. But no, Bill's been a great public servant, and Bill brought, I think, a great asset to the council. I think Bill, his business knowledge and just his common sense, I think, was very beneficial to the council through the years. And Bill served 8 years here and was always willing to work with anybody and help, and I think gave great counsel. And he'll be missed for sure. And Bill, we appreciate your help and your service. then there's this guy right here, got a pretty good tan going. Anyway, I would like to thank Steve. I think I speak for everyone in the council. Steve has just been wonderful to work with all these years. We've created a lot of momentum here. We want to continue that. There's been great synergy in the council. Everything we've done has been on a positive note. I think we've developed a great deal in our community under Steve's regime. Steve always had an open door. If you needed to talk to him, he was always willing to listen. If somebody came in off the street, Steve would let them come in. You can ask Kim; she can tell you that back there. Steve's been very cooperative with everyone. He's been easy to work with. He's always listened to everybody's suggestions and concerns, and it's just been a pleasure to work with you all these years. We're going to miss you. There's no doubt. I think I speak for everybody on the council, and we certainly wish you the best. And it's been really good for Watertown to have you at the helm, and it's much appreciated.
Is it on? All right. Last time I get a chance to have the floor. Thanks, guys. It's been really fun working with all of you. It really has. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Sarah, could you come up? I just got a key to the city. You know, it's pretty cool. Sarah, I want to wish you the best of luck. I think it's going to go great. And I want to publicly say, if you need anything, now that you're going to be mayor, you get your feet in there, you're going to be working on the budget, and you're going to be doing all that, and it's going to drive you crazy. Just telling you. Shelley can admit to that. But if you need anything, once you're in the office, you just got to give me a call. You got my number.
Thank you.
So there's a lot of things going on. There's ball fields and ice things going on, and just numerous that are just too many to talk about it tonight. But if you need something, you just got to call.
You just got to give them enough time to get off the water and off the out of it.
And I want to give you the keys to the city. How's that? Huh? All right. Congratulations. You're great. That's all I got. Okay, here we go. Any liaison member reports? Do we need to go into an executive session? Sure, we could probably do that. Sure, what do you think? All right.
Everybody out.
All right. Otherwise, I'm going to look for a motion, a second to adjourn. Motion by Mike, second by Randy. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned, and thank you so much.